Yay! I was looking for a stamp set and it's already on my desk. Imagine that. If you're just now joining me, I am Brenda Sellers and I am in the wonderful state of Tennessee. And just so you know, everything is blooming and growing, and my sinuses do not like it. I am allergic, I feel like, to everything under the sun. So I'm sorry in advance for coughing, but it's going to happen. All right, let me check one thing, and that way I'll be able to tell you the truth, because you know how that goes. I want to make sure I tell you the truth. 6, 3, 4, 6. I'm checking a stamp set that I'm using tonight. What? Really? Let me refresh. Hang on. So we went from warm shorts to cold again. Wonderful thoughts. Wonderful thoughts dies. Huh. You guys, I think the stamp set I'm using tonight is retired. But you know what? That is okay. It is okay. I'm sure that we've all got a big chunky one similar to this. We're going to use it and we're going to go with it. All right. So we're going to start with a very simple card first. And then we're going to work our way to a little bit harder one. I saw, when I get to that one, I'll tell you, I was watching videos of demonstrators do cards and stuff this weekend, and it's like, oh, I want to try that. And guess what? I left half my stuff over there that I need for that one, but it would kind of be, no, that wouldn't be in the way. But so we're going to try one, and I'll tell you about it when we get there. But the very first card, we are going to use some retiring paper, Pebbled Path. We're going to use the Pebbled Path ink, and we are, oops, get that all rubbed in. Try not to do that before, but my hands just felt icky and dry. Okay, so let me share my screen because you come here for this crafting, not for me chatting. And let's hope that that is centered and all of that fun jazz. Yay, not too shabby. All right, we're using layered dots, and I can't find it on the website, so seems to me it's retired, but I like it. I just like that it looks like it's written on a chalkboard. So we're going to use Pebbled Path as our ink of choice for that one. Let's just drop it in there. And we are going to use Basic Beige. And I know you're saying, oh my goodness, Brenda, you never ever do a card base that direction. What is going on with you? And I'm going to say, well, it's because I watched another demonstrator this weekend, and the card that I'm going to make, that is what she taught, used 4 1/4 by 11. So I had an extra one. So we're going to do that. All right. So for this card class, y'all know that if you place a $35 order, I will send you the materials to make 2 of each of these cards. I cannot send stamped images. So for layered dots, you're going to have to find another stamp set that'll work. This one is super simple, and that's why I said we're going to go simple to fun fold. This is, like I said, 4 1/4 by 11. So we're just simply folding it in half. This piece is the regular size of our card first layer. So it is, lay it over here, 4 by 5 1/4. grab some adhesive. Yes, Becky, I turned it over, even though it's not stamped. But when I start making a card, I try to get as many pieces out of my way as possible. So that's why I just go ahead and start layering them on. Okay. And pretty much, if you know you've got the same amount of space on 3 sides, side number 4 is pretty much going to line up and it'll be good. All right, I'm going to slide that to the top, pull in our Pebbled Path ink pad. We are using, let me see what the name of this designer series paper is. It is called Woven Textures. So we're going to use it on 2 cards tonight. So our first one is this. So we're going to stamp directly on the designer series paper. I know, gasp. It's got 2 sides, but I don't want to stamp on that side. I want to stamp on this one. So we got to make sure we get it right. And I'm not sure why that camera is lagging. All right. So I'm going to put it right about there. And as my friend would say, he is wonderful. He is wonderful. He is wonderful. But he would substitute his name in there, of course. Oh, I like that. I like it a lot. Let's just lay it up here away from me. And now I'm going to put about right there. Also towards the top of the desk, out of the way. Isn't this font scripty stuff just cool? I really like that. All right, lid this, or I will put my arm in it for sure. All right, let's just put some adhesive on this back side. Make sure we got the opening in the correct direction. We do. Center that up on there. Pop it down. Grab some of the retiring bling because these colors are going away. Looks like I liked Moody Mauve and Boho Blue. Let's use some of this Pebbled Path. Sprinkle some gems on there. 1, 2. And, oh, where'd you go? Where'd you go, little guy? Let's put him up here. All right, there is the very simple card, and it needs, even though that's basic beige, let's put a piece of basic white in the middle. It's like I need to cut some more of that. I plan on making a trip by a printing place to print our calendar of events or some packages and such. So I may just take my paper and say, hey, will you cut this too? 4 little chops and it's all done. Yes, please. All right, simple, simple. Now our next one is still simple, but it is embossing. And I will tell you where I got this idea. Totally off of somebody's shirt. I saw it and it's like, oh, I got to do that. Digging for the cardstock. And if you watched last week's video, you know that I used More Messages, which is going to be a new stamp set, Sentiment. I'm using one of those, and I'm using the Modern Oval Punch. It is still current to layer that. So let's just put those 2 little pieces right together. Again, I do this so that I don't lose pieces on my desk. How many have lost things on your desk when you're crafting? See, that fits pretty good. And then you're like, oh my, where did it go? So I know that these pieces, and I know you're thinking, Brenda, yellow and purple, really? Yes. So this is Gorgeous Grape. It is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4.25. Pop it right over there. I always lay my bone folder, I like push the tip there and then lay it down that way so that I feel like I get a more even. All right, so this is going to go on the inside. It's 4 by 5.25. So go ahead and do that. Again, putting our little pieces out of the way so we don't lose them. And so Brenda doesn't forget that she needs to put one on the inside of this because it is pretty dark. I'm going to go ahead and put our lemon lolly. It is also 4 by 5.25. I turned it over again. I know it's not stamped on that side, but you know, that's kind of habit. Right. And then these pieces will be free to stay on the top of the desk for a few minutes. All right. This one, let's work with it. How about that? This stamp set, Sketched Plaid, is retiring. It is a large stamp set. So I have the Stamparatus because I had it for a long, long time. So I just put my stamp on it because it makes it a little bit easier. All right, I'm going to put that right about there. Close that down. All right. Let's make it straight-ish. I'm using Versamark, and we are going to heat emboss this with black. So let's put some Versamark on this stamp. Slide it over so you can see. With large stamps, it's just easier, I feel, to put them on something this big, a stamp positioning tool. We do have large blocks that you can use. I'm just making sure it gets good and Versamark all over it. Right. Put it on it. Come on, tighten, seal. And then close the lid and stamp. Oh, that magnet is in the way. Slide it out of the way, dude. Got him. I'm just going to push my hand around. Make sure it gets a good image. Yes, my table's squeaking. All right, I think that's pretty good. I'm gonna leave it down while I reach in here and grab out the heat tool. And yay, there's a place for it to be plugged in. And embossing tray. This is one of the old ones. I mean, that's how long I've had these. I probably should invest in one of the new ones, but haven't done that yet. All right, I'm just going to peel that off of there carefully. All right. Oh, it doesn't have some on that side. Snap. Oh, it's because those were further away. Let's leave it just like that. If I'd have tacked it on the page, it would have been different, but I didn't. So we're not going to fool with it. We're going to emboss it just like it is. All right. All right, I'm not going to shake all of that out on it. Carefully, carefully tilt. Oh, you can tell where I had lotion on my fingers. Let's wipe that off. Some more on that side. That's the thing about embossing large things. Sometimes you gotta sprinkle them several times. Down there, let's get to them. All right, I am going to use the little paintbrush and wipe that off, because everywhere that you've got a fleck of Versamark, I promise you it will emboss and it'll stick there. This is kind of grungy-ish. It's sketched, so in my mind that means it can be imperfect. But I really didn't want my fingerprints on the card. All right. I'm going to put the lid on the jar. I'm going to set it out of the way. And I'm going to sit this over here out of the way. And now let's get the heat tool. You see how it's got like a matte finish to that? Watch the fun. I promise. I love this. Heat embossing is one of the things that drew me to crafting, to paper crafting. My mom had taught me how to crochet. She also taught me how to use a sewing machine. You watch, are you able to see that turn? If I hold it at an angle, it hits more of it and starts warming it up faster. I have learned that the embossing powder itself is actually little bitty pieces and particles of finely ground up plastic. Who knew? I trust the person who said that, but I also want to verify it for myself. And I'm sorry, that makes it sound like I don't trust that person. And I do trust her. But I want to know the rest of the history behind it. So that's why I will, ouch, not point that heat tool at my fingers. Are you able to see it change? Isn't that cool? If you're part of my mailing list, you got an email yesterday. So let me know if you have any questions. Again, with something this large, you need to make sure that you've got all of the little bits and pieces pretty dark. All right. I believe I got it. Okay. That over there on its little stand so it doesn't. Okay. This, ooh, that got Versamark. Oh, powder over there. All right. Let's wipe the desk off. Okay. I'm going to make that come out this side so this bigger piece is on the bottom. This is the fun part. We're using some blends. I am using Summer Splash, which is a, what's this year? 25 to 27. No, no, no. This is a 24 to 26 in color. We might throw in a sprig of Gorgeous Grape, which is our card base. That's still got first mark on it. Here is a lighter Highland Heather, basic one of our color families, Lemon Lolly, and Azure Afternoon. So I'm going to start with my lightest colors first and work my way up. All right, kind of got them stacked. Throw in the Lemon Lolly. I try to use color family or like light colors on the blending or on the blending brushes. All right, let's get some on there. And I'm going to start up here and come through. And in no rhyme or reason, particular order, it can be darker and lighter. I know when I'm using the blending brushes on some of the other stuff, I say start off. That way you don't get a blob. But this project, it doesn't matter. I promise. And you're going to say, Brenda, those colors they don't even go together. What were you thinking? And I'm going to say, I saw a shirt and they do go together. They really do. So let's pull in some Highland Heather. It was pretty. It was really pretty, I promise. Something there. Just wherever you want it to land on the card. I'll leave that one open over there out of my way. Summer Splash. Try not to shake the desk too horribly much. This is not going to look like that shirt, and I'm sure they probably don't have multiple, well, it's printed, I'm sure, but you know what I mean? This is handcrafted. Ain't no two going to be the same. All right, let's lay this one there too. And let's go with Azure Afternoon. Doesn't look like it's got a lot on that brush, but watch. See it? There it is. A little bit right there. Put some over here. I'm just kind of filling in some of the spots. Making it go across some of the other ones. That's okay too. Oh, it almost sounds like it's thundering. Hope everybody's safe. Know that there was some bad storms this weekend. All right, now let's pull some Molly again. I'm gonna put some right there. Okay. I think we're done except for the Gorgeous Grape. Let's put the lids on some of these. Here's because that's embossed, it's raised a little bit, so it's a little bit tougher to get it down in those corners. Those little cracks. All right, let's grab the gorgeous grape, and this one will be, oh, that looks pretty on the camera. Hope you guys are liking it as much as I am. Please leave me a comment if you did. Like, what on earth is she doing? Pull it out of the lid. That's from where I've squished it, I'm sure. We get our inspiration from all kinds of different places. Like I said, the next card that I'm going to be working on, I actually watched Sue Camfield do one of her fun folds, and I've got the name of it. It's a pleated prism fun fold. I didn't watch it when she did it exactly, but I was flipping through YouTube yesterday and saw it, and it's like, I want to try that. So here's to trying. Isn't that gorgeous? Isn't that gorgeous? All right, let's put it on our card. I think that's pretty cool. I'm excited about it. Let me know if you are. Again, we get our inspiration everywhere, because then I saw another shirt that had blues, and I thought, oh, that could be, oh, I need to wipe up the ink off the desk. Hang on. Un momento. And I probably did not say that correctly. I'm sorry. I will try not to butcher a language. But I see the ink on the desk, so I don't want to get it on my next card. I grabbed a piece of scrap paper. But what I was saying, I saw another shirt that had blues, and it looked like it reminded me of Misty Moonlight and boho blue and yellow. And it's like, what is with yellow I'm seeing today? So that's why we got a card with yellow and purples and blues and greens. All right. So we've got our card base, our card in the middle, our card layer on top. Here's us another layer. Cool. What do you think? All right. And then this sentiment is from More Messages. Slide this over. Remember that stamp set from last week? I didn't use all the sentiments yet. I'm using them. Let's pop this little guy on some dimensionals that were laying on the desk. Here we go. Card class is Thursday, and it's birthday card themed. We are going to make the fun fold, or pleated prism, and another fun fold that I saw. Like, yeah, the class will take a little bit longer, but it'll be so worth it. All right, where do I want to put this? Right here? Yeah, I'm going to cover that up a little bit. All right. How about that? How about that? Let's find some gems. Hang on. So this would be, oh, let's use some of these. I'm going to say use what's in your stash. These are from the crab set. They're called Sunny Day Iridescent Dyes. I'm going to use these green colored ones. I can find my take your pick tool. Let's grab a large one. I didn't want to stand over there and look for them forever, so these will work. And let's put one right there. And let's put one right there. And that brings out the Summer Splash. Melon Mambo Pumpkin Pie and Summer Splash. That's what they are. All right. How about that? What do you think of that card? What do you think? What do you think? I love it. I never would have ever dreamed of putting yellow and purple together, but I'm digging it. All right, so we did a really simple one. Here's the first card from tonight. This one is heat embossing and blending brushes. Are you ready for the next card? I am ready to share it. Let's move those out of the way. All right. So our next card, let's start with the inside. Again, it's called a Pleated Prism Fun Fold. Susan Camfield, but she's called Sue Stampfield is her information on her blog. All right, for this one, or her YouTube channel too, we are starting with a 4 1/4 by 11 card base. Let's go ahead and fold that. It just felt a little gritty. All right, that is out of our way. This piece of designer series paper is going to go on the inside. It is exactly 4 by 4. So let's get our paper trimmer with our score blade. This is my cutting blade. I'm putting it up there. I watched somebody the other day and they had a cute little thing for that. And I can't remember what it was. All right. So I'm going to score this at 2 inches. And then I am going to turn it over and use a black ink pen or a darker one. It's pretty dark. And I'm going to put marks on this at, well, I think I am. Three-quarters. Make sure that's. Let me go get my scoreboard. That way I can put it up against the top of it. Hang on. I'll still need that to score it. If you've got a white gel pen with something that's dark, that would be really good. I don't have one handy. All right, let me see if I can put this. I want this side to be what I see. Okay, so ignore these little guys. All right, we're going to mark it at 3/4. Then at 1 1/2. 2 already has the score. 2 1/2. And 3 1/4. And I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to mark the bottom the same way. So at 3/4, 1 1/2, 2.5. I get it in the right spot, yes. And 3.25. All right, can you see those marks on there? Again, if you had a white gel pen, that would be much easier. And I've already got it scored at 2, so I don't have to worry about that. That's right in the middle because that's 4 by 4. Put that out of the way. Set this out of the way. Because I can't score on a diagonal with that, I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer again. And now what I want to do is I'm going to go from this score line or mark down to this one. And from this one to here, from this one to here, from this one to here. So it's going to make big X's on there. All right. Turn it this way so we can see it, hopefully. Let's move some of that so it doesn't rock. No rocking. Okay. Sorry. All right, so for our first one, this score line or mark is going to go right in this cutting tray. And I'm going to line it up with this one down here. And we are going to use this scoring and put a score line. All right, and then we're going to move over to this one and that one. Here to the next one over across our middle. And I'm starting it in the middle so that it doesn't buckle my paper a little bit. All right. And now I need to go to this one and that one right here. So you just hold it in place. It's fine. Oh, I can see it. There we go. And then this score line or mark all the way over to this one. It's making like a little starburst, a bunch of X's. All right. I don't know if you can see the score lines. Yes. Cool. This is the side that's going to be visible or popped up. So look at that. You can see those score lines on there. I'm so happy. All right, we're done with the scoring and the cutting and all that jazz. Put that out of the way. All right. So we're going to fold it in the middle on our 2-inch score line. For this, you definitely want to use your bone folder because you want a good, solid, crispy fold. And then we're going to fold it on, and watch, hang on. That line goes all the way over, yep. And then fold that line. This, y'all, this is the first time making this, so we're all learning. That one goes, it stopped right there. It goes right here. And this one. So they're all crossing basically in the same point. There we go. So when you're scoring it, you don't want to push too hard because you don't want to cut your paper. And then I bet I folded those wrong. We're going to see. all the way over to this one. All right. Oh, and I forgot the middle one. There we go. Middle one goes that direction. Ah, got it. I think. Where's that line? Yes. All right, now do the bottom side or the top, whatever it's going to be. They just kind of fold in on themselves, just like that. Just like that. Like, what on earth are you doing, Brenda? I'm having fun. What are you doing? Okay. All right. So now I have cut, that's a layer and a layer. So this early espresso is 3 3/8 by 4. So I'm going to put the first one, I'm going to put some adhesive on it. Maybe if I can get it to roll. Still doing good on time. All right. I'm going to put this little point. You see that score line? Just on the inside of it. You don't want it across it because then your card won't fold. So you want it about right there. So I'm going to turn this little gem. And I'm going to put the cardstock right up against it. There we go. And then I'm going to put some adhesive on this one. I didn't turn it over because I know it doesn't have anything on the other side either. And it is going to go about the same distance from that corner or edge. You want it to close. You don't want it to push it too much. Okay. Now I'm going to get some Seal Plus. It's a little bit stronger. And I'm going to put some on this piece. No, throw bits on me. Get on there. Oh, the bottom corner needs some. You could use your liquid glue if you want, but ooh, golly, that'd be hard. So I'm going to push this edge right up against this one because I know we measured it. And that point is still not going to cross the score line. All right. Okay. It's going to work. Yay! I'm excited. You just don't even know. It's like, oh my, yes, she can do fun things. Sometimes. All right. And I'm following Sue's advice. And I'm going to lift up this side. And I'm going to line that up. Because if you were to just fold it over, it wouldn't line up like you wanted it to. And I want them to touch. All right. Look. And then she also said that sometimes this gets a little cattywampus. So then you might need to score, like use your bone folder on it again. So that's why she started with the inside of her card. That's why I started with the inside of mine. Look, isn't that cool? Can you see? All of that texture, it just makes it come alive. Find Sue's video on YouTube. It's pretty cool. All right, and these pieces of basic white are 3 1/8 by 3 1/4. I'm just going to go ahead. You could stamp on them if you wanted to not have so much space to write. I'm not going to stamp on mine. I feel like I've used a lot of your time already. So I'm just going to layer them on these early espresso pieces. This one over here. And your card still will lay flat-ish. But isn't that cool? When you open it up, you've got a nice birthday surprise. Actually, folding the wrong direction. You are folding the wrong way. No, maybe not. Yes, you are. I did it. There we go. All right, let's do the front. Actually, it does go the other direction. Play with it. Watch Sue's. Because now mine's not. I got it all discombobulated. All right, you go that way. And you go that way. There we go. I got it fixed. So the middle peaks are towards your card spine. That's what it was doing. It was coming out too far. Okay. See how that is in there? Like that. Top and bottom. Makes an M. And then see how it does inside there? And then just pinch it closed. See? All right. Let's lay that down and let's work on our top. I am again using more messages. And I got a piece of early espresso that is 4 by 5 1/4. I'm just going to go ahead and put that on our card front, covering up some of that heat embossing that I got all over the desk. Hold up. You're not where you need to be. Okay. And then I use the woven textures again, and we're going to start right here. And I'm out of adhesive. There. I don't want to use Stampin' Seal Plus on that. Don't, I mean, yes, I need it to stick to the card front, but that's Seal Plus and it would really stick. All right, Stampin' Up! Is getting ready to host a couple of scrapbook workshops. So if you're interested in doing either one of them, they're going to be virtual, but I've got a big screen in here. So if you want to do it virtual, go ahead and get the stuff and you can come to and set up my craft table and do it with me. How fun would that be? All right, this piece is going to go over here. I'm using the back side of that. See, same design, but I'm using the other side. About the same distance. And then these guys are going to go in here. This is a great way to use up some of your scraps. You can make it be a scrappy card and have all kinds of little scraps across there. That one is crooked as a dog's hind leg. See, front and back. I was going to put ribbon on here. I don't think I'm going to. All right. Again, that is from the More Messages sentiments that I stamped last week. That's just a little piece of scrap so it will stand up and distinguish itself. Put some dimensionals on the back. Aren't you proud? I only used 3. Let's cover up most of that crookedness right there. Let's go right there. And let's use none of those. No, those don't match. Hang on. Let's use some iridescent foil. There's not that many left of them. Let's just use them. Here. Here. One up there. Can't really tell they're on there, but I just feel like it needed a little something, something. All right. And see, there's the front. It looks like just a basic cattywampus card because it doesn't look like Brenda could line things up. And then when you open it up, you've got this nice little surprise in there. Isn't that cool? So you could obviously write your sentiment. You could stamp something over there if you wanted to, or but vice versa. So there's card number 3. So fun fold. This one still makes me happy. It does. Not that this other one is like, oh, I did it. Makes me happy too. And then there's our very simple stamp on some designer series paper. How many of you have ever stamped on designer series paper? It's kind of scary, but you can do it. All right, there are our cards for tonight. Oops, get them in the view, Brenda. What you think? Let me know what you think. I hope that you enjoyed tonight. Looks like I did some pretty masculine cards and then pop color. Kind of reminds me of Easter colors. All right. Have a great night. I hope you do something fun for yourself. Please let me know if you have any questions about any ordering things that I've posted in the email. And again, if you want the materials cut for you, I'll cut us. Those are cut straight. I just put them on crooked. Because see, that's a little bit bigger. Anyway, I can send you the materials. I can't send you any stamped images. So, but cardstock and some gems and that kind of thing. If you place a $35 order, I can send you this. And also in the email, it said if you place a $50 order in the month of April, you will get a new pack of gems. All right. Have a great night. Happy stamping. Let me know what you're doing. Definitely do something fun for yourself. And I'll see you again soon. Bye for now. Thanks for watching.